The big outrage, we've heard of all kinds of bans in schools, bans on certain clothing, cell phones, even playing tag. But now one school has gone too far in its attempt to teach children what it thinks are important lessons. They are banning, get this, Legos. Big story correspondent Douglas Kennedy is here now with an explanation. Why Legos?
John, this is a small school in Seattle, Washington, which recently banned the building blocks from its classrooms. The lesson they say they're trying to teach is about the evils of private property. When it comes to toys, it's not uncommon for children to claim ownership. Most psychiatrists say it's a natural stage of child development. Not so at a so-called emerging curriculum school in Seattle, Washington. The Hilltop Children's Center recently banned Legos after teachers say their students' behavior began to, quote, mirror a class-based capitalist society. A society that we teachers believe to be unjust and oppressive. How ridiculous is this?
This is really just preposterous. What we're saying is bad for children to play with Legos with each other. They're not instilled with the values that the teachers think they ought to be having.
The controversy began when a group of 8-year-olds began building a Lego town like this one, complete with a city center, shops, and houses of various sizes. After 2 months of work, teachers became dismayed that some of the second graders were claiming ownership of some of the, quote, cool pieces, and that one child wouldn't let another use Lego Town's airport, which apparently required being in possession of a Lego Town plane. According to the teachers, the children had begun to incorporate into Lego Town their assumptions about ownership and the social power it conveys. So the teachers say when the kids claim ownership, they're becoming part of the capitalist society, which is bad, they say. What do you say to that?
Well, the teachers really here have the explicit intent of indoctrinating these children into common ownership and communist viewpoints.
The school says the children have now learned an important lesson, namely that collectivity is a good thing. And they say they have reintroduced Legos to the classroom with new rules. Number one, that Lego pieces can only be owned by a team, not by an individual. Number two, that all structures are public structures. And number three, that all structures will be limited to standard sizes. So they're going to limit the size of the structures. Are they also limiting the size of these kids' imaginations?
I think so. Really what we're talking about here is trying to teach these children that everyone should live in the same sized home, the same format. We're talking about Soviet-era public housing, central planning. That's what they're trying to indoctrinate these kids in. It's something American parents need to really be thinking about.
No one from Hilltop would comment on camera, but in a statement, the teachers called the Lego ban a success, teaching children, they say, a vital lesson in shared ownership. They also say their teaching methods are being adopted across the country. So, John, I guess that means that we're going to hear more of Lego bans.
More Hugo Chavez, less Donald Trump.